What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. To focus in on the Montreal Canadiens ridding themselves, if you will, of Zack Kassian in exchange of Ben Scrivens. Let's start with Scrivens. Obviously, the Habs have been looking for help between the pipes. Since Carey Price's injury, and given that he's still a few weeks away, I think having a guy like Scrivens that's played over 100 games in the show, has seen it all. As a backup to Mike Condon, I think is a good thing. Condon's kind of come back to earth. He had that really great run for a while, and then it's like, you realize that he's a solid backup goalie, but he's not going to be the guy that's going to carry this team to the cup. I said it a million times. So that's the way you got to look at it from the Habs' perspective. But going forward, having that veteran presence, I think, is definitely a good thing. I can't reiterate that enough. For Edmonton, the thing with Kassian I don't totally get is what they see in him. I don't know where he fits in long term with this team, or if there is a fit for him. They could have. I'm not saying that they were just trying to get rid of Scrivens to give him a chance, but I think it could be something along those lines. And you look at Kassian, having the substance abuse problem, going to rehab, getting out, then being told not to report to the AHL by the Habs after clearing waivers. And, I think part of it was they were looking to trade him. But at the same time, where does he fit in with this Oilers, team long term? He's going to the AHL, going to Bakersfield. So that, again, what's he going to do down there? Are they going to try to... I think the ship sailed on him being a top 6 forward in the NHL. But do they view him as being an enforcer type to, protect McDavid and those guys? I think that's a possibility, and it sounds going a step further with that narrative. McDavid coming back on the ice soon. I'm assuming they'll send him to the A for rehab assignments. So having Kassian down there, though I know there wasn't a Jake Virtanen incident. Remember Virtanen ran him during that scrimmage game, but again, I just think it's one of those weird trades that I guess you see every year. I'm still perplexed as to how Edmonton's going to use Kassian, whether it's in the A or going down the line in the NHL. But see how it all shakes up. And I think the Habs got a pretty solid backup goalie. And Scrivens could start the Winter Classic, so that's interesting. And also, for what it's worth, Ben Scrivens' wife Jenny is a goalie for the New York Riveters. So having Ben back on the East Coast works well for the Scrivens family. So, anyway, that's like an episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.